Hello and welcome to the Nwins Motors YouTube channel, and quite possibly the Total Kitcar YouTube channel. We do a lot of things that we share, and this particular series is loosely related to the History File series that we've done in collaboration with TotalKitcar.com. Now, what Steve did with the history file was to look at marks and individual models from the kit cars past. But what I'm aiming to do with this series is to cover some of the cars that shone very, very brightly for a very, very short time, looked like something might happen, and then disappeared almost as soon as they arrived. If you like, the nearlies, the wannabes, the possibles, the ones that maybe deserved a little bit more, or the ones that you're in no doubt as soon as you see them why they didn't go any further. But we'll call these one-hit wonders, or as I call them, these are the Kitcar shorts. Hello and welcome to the latest episode of Kitcar shorts. Be it whether you're watching on the Nwins Motors channel or you're watching on the TKC Mag YouTube channel. This is a joint project, and this time we are on a car that is definitely of its era, the Kingfisher Countess. Now, take a look at the photos and take a simple guess at what this looks like. To be fair, the company was never claiming this to be a Countach replica, but this was a time in the early 80s, and I'm talking the first 2 or 3 years, when the kit car industry was basically gagging for supercars, and in particular the Countach, and there were several cars, as you will see as we go down the line with this series, that attempted to create a Countach. Now, it was based, the company, in a place brilliantly named as Kit Green. Kit Green, perfect for the kit car industry. It wasn't the best quality car, to be fair, and it was basically trying to tap into the desire for Italian exotica, and it sold in reasonable numbers, to be fair, until the more realistic Countach replicas came along. It kind of plugged that gap. It used a Beetle floorpan, and the man behind the project was called Dave Forsyth, a boat builder by trade and a decent GRP laminator, who used the memorable advertising strapline, "Can you handle a little lady?" Oh dear. And what can we say? It's of its time, as we said. The bait donor car was the Beetle, although there was a multi-tube space frame option for Austin Maxi running gear, presumably mid-engined, from about 1983, made by the Preston Engineering Company, Space Frame Engineering. Forsyth had another attempt at Countach manufacture some years later under the GB banner, and that used the shell that was taken off a shell of a set of moulds that were taken off the a real Countach, which is definitely a story for this series, and the GB used a Jaguar V12 memorably in the prototype. Again, not that many sold. I would love to know if you've got a GB Countach or if you've got a Countess, because let's face it, what the Countess does, if nothing else, it shows you that the Countach has, although it looks square and angular and wedged, it actually consists of an awful lot of compound curves. And these compound curves are, and getting them right, is the challenge that kit car manufacturers struggled with for a long time. And obviously we're going to tell the story of how that how they got round that at a later date. But if you were to do a Countach the way people imagine a Countach to be, which is completely flat, the Countess has to be a reasonable attempt at it, and it does actually show how complex and the Count Countach is, and in its own way the Countess has a sort of charm. I wouldn't have wanted to attempt to build one. Apparently it really was one hell of a challenge, but yeah, a perfect example for our kit car short series. And you know, thank you to Steve Hole for sending us the information on what was, for me, a fascinating, if disappointing from a performance point of view, attempt at an Italian exotic.